if it isn't my dear partners?
That voice! It's Navia!
I didn't expect to run into you guys here today. Are you headed somewhere?
How about you, Navia? Are you still busy rebuilding Poisson?
We've wrapped up most of the rebuilding, but there are still a few things left to take care of. Stocking up on materials, confirming construction timelines, discussing compensation terms with families affected by the disaster. Between all of that, I've been making a lot of trips between the court and Poisson. Well, though the victims have received relief payments from the court, in my opinion, as the administrators of Poisson, Spina di Rosula should take some responsibility as well. Our financial situation right now isn't the best, so all we've been doing is signing agreements for the damages to be repaid at a later date. Though just pieces of paper now, they demonstrate our commitment. They're necessary to restore the people's faith in us.
Oh, spoken like a true president. You're a really responsible leader. That must be taking up most of your time, though, right?
Oh, you bet. Between that and all the other errands I have to run at the court, I'm always forgetting one thing or another. So before I came over this time, I took a page from Melusa's book and decided to make a list of everything. This way, it's easy to see which tasks you haven't checked off. And then, since Melus loved using shorthand, I decided to also follow his example and come up with some shorthand of my own. But after running a few errands in the city, I'm kind of struggling to even read my own handwriting anymore.
That does sound like you, all right. So what kind of shorthand did you use?
Oh, want to take a look?
Let Paimon see. Wait. There's nothing here but a bunch of weird symbols. This looks like a piece of kelp wrapped around a stick. And this other one, is it supposed to be a boar in a box?
The first one has to do with confirming the final payment amount for the fishermen, while the second one is a reminder to try the new burger that just hit the market.
Okay, Paimon can definitely see how you might forget what each of these mean.
Thank you for your advice. These are the kinds of things you only really figure out once you've tried them out yourself. I thought that as long as I understood my shorthand when I came up with it, I'd be sure to remember the symbols when I looked at them later. Unfortunately, I've definitely proven myself wrong.
Well, now you know for next time.
Anyway, I should have already taken care of most of the things on the list. There are still a few symbols that I can't decipher, but I don't think they're anything too super important. Worst comes to worst, I'll just make another trip.
Ah, so you're going to head back now?
Yep, that's the plan. Oh, actually, since we talked about the reconstruction earlier, want to come with me and check out the town for yourself? You said you don't have any plans, right? So we can just catch a boat and head over. It won't take long at all.
It's a bit sudden, but Paimon doesn't...
Then let's go.
Oh, you mean the aquabus, right?
Oh, sorry. I meant our own boat. The Aquabus doesn't have a station near Poisson, so we'll use one of the Spinas. All right, follow me. I'll take you there. The engineer is still doing a few routine safety checks. We can head out as soon as we get the green.
So, Paimon has always wanted to ask. The 3 Aquabus lines are all named after people in your family?
Yeah, that's right. Callus and Navia are self-explanatory, while Clementine was the name that my mother went by.
If you provided the Mora to build the lines, Spina di Rosula built all the lines, yet you still have to take a special boat just to go...
Well, what I heard is that most of our businesses don't actually use Poisson as a hub. So there was no real reason to build a line straight to Poisson. You are right that it is a bit strange, though. If you've already...
Yeah, that's what Paimon's saying!
Well, it is what it is. You know what my father was like. Even I often struggled to figure out what was going on in his head. But that would only be the case if he cared about what others thought. My father was always really stubborn. Once he made up his mind, good luck getting him to change it. From what I've heard, the rights of all the other members of the Spina only went as far as giving him advice or suggestions, and no farther. That included my mother, too.
Huh. Well, that explains why you weren't on the greatest of terms with him.
Yeah, because I wouldn't just let him keep getting his way. He was just... not very agreeable.
Boss, the boat's ready. We can head out.
All right, then let's head out. It'll be a while before we get to Poisson. Let's keep talking.
Navia, what was your mother like as a person? Oh, Paimon, sorry. She totally forgot that you meant...
That's all right. I've heard many stories about her from the rest of the Spina. They've always said that they were sure we would have gotten along famously. While my papa was stiff like a board, my mother was supposedly... My father would run the businesses and expand our reach, while my mother would keep the peace.
Sounds like they were not just a well-matched couple.
Yeah, but those are just stories and anecdotes after all. But sometimes I'd still look at the Clementine line and wonder, would the Spina and Poisson still be what they are today had my mother survived? Silver once said that a name is a kind of inscription, a way to etch a memory into the world. When given a name, a cold, inanimate object can gain a completely new meaning. So, I will always associate the line with her in my heart. Over the past few weeks, I've also begun to appreciate how water can take in and hold our most intense feelings and memories, as well as how one may reflect on their past by watching the sea. I've lost many beloved people and memories to the sea. Even though I cannot stop for them and must continue to keep moving, the fact won't change that they existed in my life and gave me the reason and motivation to move forward. Always. But no matter what, we can't change the past. But I tell myself that I need to keep... Besides, I'm the president of Spina di Rosula. I've got to keep my chin up. We've reached the shore. Let's go. I'll show you the new Poisson.
Navia, do you think she's doing all right? Okay, Paimon supposes you're...
Boss, you're back! Traveler and Paimon, welcome back to Poisson.
Oh, hey! Fancy seeing you again, Florent. Is it your turn to take care?
Hey, I can totally take care of my... We did hand over some of Malus's old responsibilities to Florent, though. It's been really nice.
Thank you for the compliment, boss. As you see, I've been working closely with the boss on rebuilding Poisson. Mr. Malus was an extremely capable and respected member.
All right. There's no need to be so formal. Were you waiting here for me? Did we manage to make any progress on the statue?
Yeah, we contacted a sculptor about the job, but they can't get started on sourcing a
You're commissioning a statue?
So basically, we've been meaning to commission a but since my father was known as Callus the Unfaithful, but now that his name has been cleared, and the town is also...
The funds to build the statue were freely donated by the people of Poisson to show their appreciation for Miss Clementine and Mr.
Me? I'm just the newbie president that's running around and causing everyone trouble. Maybe we can have this conversation again.
Hey, there's no need to be so humble.
I agree wholeheartedly.
Hey, if you keep inflating my ego like this, I might just float off into the sky with my parasol. Just kidding. There's no way that I'd accept that kind of compliment at face value. At a minimum, I'd have to match what my father did for the people. Thanks for the vote of confidence. I just don't think I'm ready yet. Anyway, Florent, now it's up to us to confirm the final design, right?
Mm-hmm. We can ask the sculptor to start looking for a good block once we've decided on the poses for Miss Clementine and Mr. Callus. But we haven't had any real discussions yet on the possible designs. I feel like I should get a few promising designs first, and then send them over to you to review.
There's no need for all that. Let's decide on a design right now. Hey, you! Come over here with me. Modeling a few poses, of course. Here, just pretend to be Callus, and I'll be Clementine. Didn't you say on the boat that Callus and Clementine... Florent, let's grab some reference shots.
You've got it, boss. I'll go get the camera.
Well, what do you think? Got any ideas? Well, I've actually discussed it a bit with Florent before, but I could never come up with any... So, I want to pick your brain for a bit.
I'm all good here, boss. Feel free to start posing whenever.
By that, do you mean as if we were standing on a boat and looking out at the sea? Sure, let's give that a try.
Whoa, you really remind Paimon. Look over there.
But there's...
Oh, I see what you mean. Then let's swap.
Well, Paimon is a fan.
Wait, but we can't do that. Very few...
But then, since we're putting...
Oh, okay. We'll try to think of something else.
A happy pose? You mean...
With all that...
Would we even be able to tell what they are supposed...
Yeah, and that'd probably be a...
Could one of you... That actually sounds pretty hard to pull off.
Imposing, huh? Oh, I've got it. Let's try this.
This pose! It makes me recall Spina di Rosula's glorious...
But isn't Clementine's pose a bit too... If we were to stick with this...
Well, tabloids did indeed speculate as...
Oh, Paimon was...
What Florent meant was that we asked the journalist to... You're right, though, that this may not accurately represent the image of her in our hearts.
We tried to...
Oh, don't worry. We still got a lot of reference. Man, if I knew I was going to do a photo shoot with... Oh, outfits! Oh, that's the errand I forgot back in the city. Do either of you still remember that girl? The girl I went to see with you two. Her name...
Oh, Paimon remembers her. She was the one that we met while investigating Mr. Callus's case, right?
Yes, that's exactly who I'm talking about. So, after I said that it's fine, but young children are not allowed. But how could I get her? But I got.
Don't worry, boss. I can send someone.
On the matter of the statue,
We could have just done that from the... yeah.
Navia! Florent, guess who's back?
Huh?
Oh, well, if it isn't Coulter. Back already from the Fortress of Mer.
That's right. After I got out, I immediately made a beeline back to Plus. You wouldn't believe how much I've missed Melissa's grip.
It's good to have you back, Coulter.
And...
Let me introduce you. This is Coulter, another of Spina di... But, looking at it now, it was probably another one of
Wait, Mr. Marcel? What?
Have you not heard anything at all about the...
Well, I know that Fontaine got flooded, but then the water levels were...
Oh, looks like... First things first, let me introduce you.
Oh, nice to meet you.
yeah, we are indeed pretty amazing.
Humble again as...
Nice. Spina di Rose... Oh, that reminds me.
Coulter, a lot of...
They lost their lives, keeping me safe during the flood.
What did you say? This isn't some kind of morbid...
I'm sorry.
Malus and Melissa... Malus...
Malus and Coulter were friends for many years.
I... All of this... It's unbelievable. I can't...
I think you and
I thought Mr. Marcel would always... It's unconscionable to have received...
The good news is that the Confrérie of Cabriere is... we finally...
Are you sure? But if
Rome who?
Florent should remember him. You see, there was once a major internal dispute regarding funding the construction of the... Romeu was the leader of the faction that thought such a vast sum of mora would be better spent improving the town of Poisson. But Mr. Callus believed that an opportunity to collaborate with the court of Fontaine and the Fontaine Research Institute was hard to come. Not only would the aquabus be a good business investment, it would also... But the two couldn't come to an agreement. Romeu ended up taking a lot of people with him when he...
And with Papa's stuff.
And of course, when he was suffering the slings and arrows of outrageous injustice.
Yeah. You could say it was the price he paid for sticking to his beliefs.
Oh, that's a good point. If
Oh, yeah. It eventually became a thing that just happened on every... It used to be a lot better with taking counsel. With him listening to our... But on the matter of the aquabus, even Ms. Clementine completely stood by Mr. Callus's...
I never knew.
I think the aquabus was just the straw that broke the camel's back. On that topic, they eventually came... They believed that Miss Clementine lost her ability to serve...
So, they... But... That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, but to them, even taking a side was betrayal enough. They felt like their voice... Of course, Ms. Clementine then passed away, and Mr. Callus began...
So that's what happened.
From that point on, Romeu and his people cut ties with the Perhaps they've regarded us as enemies ever since they left. But
I've also heard that they aren't in a good financial position, so they've been lying low for a while.
I think Coulter's got a point. Both Marcel and Romeu had my father in their sights for a very long time. Even though Marcel's faction has been dissolved, we still don't know anything about with how distracted and vulnerable...
Good thinking, boss. We should keep an eye...
Thank you for that, Florent. And Coulter.
Don't worry, it's nothing. I've heard so many incredulous things.
Ah, in that case, why don't we go back to the court? Want to come with me again, you two?
Oh, of course. That's fine by me.
Then let's go! Paimon feels like a lot's hinging on this.
Yep.
Are we not taking the boat this time?
It's nice to walk from time to time, isn't it? Think of it as something like a hiking trip. Once we're there, we can stay a few days before we return.
Sounds good. I haven't walked this road in a long time.
Well, we've walked far enough for now. Since we're out for a walk,
Well, Paimon thinks you're doing great.
Back in the days before the aquabus lines were built, we often had to hike north with our... Malus and I must have traveled this way hundreds of times. When we were tired, we would lay... The Spina was still on the rise back then. Mr. Callis was generous, and everyone had the chance. And now, in the blink of an eye, the aquabus lines have been built. Oh, I know.
then let's stay.
Oh, is this an...
Oh, wait. Let me check if I have all the ingredients. Okay, seems like we're all out of flour and sugar. Oh,
We should contribute...
oh, that's
Then I'll go look for some...
great. Ah, how did it go? Did you find the ingredients? You've all done your part. Just leave the rest to me.
Whoa, these macarons look and taste magnificent!
Boss's baking skills have always been famous.
Oh, it's
Have you two seriously never considered joining us? You're so close to the boss. Was it that obvious?
you just adventurers never stay in one place for long. Besides, after everything we've been through together, I'm sure our hearts would remain intertwined even if we found ourselves on opposite.
Even if Paimon was far beyond the horizon, she'd still remember the delicious taste of...
I understand now. I will endeavor to make the most of this short...
We've got no wine with us.
Cheers! Hey, what are you doing?
May your travels go smoothly. May the Spina continue to grow.